Hello everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to be playing another game of League of Legends. I am the Strategy Professor.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
And this is part of an ongoing series where I try to get to Diamond by only playing support every game. And the main theme lately, I need to focus on, it's stuff that I'm not going to show on the channel, is how to stay mentally strong when you're just, like, enduring just a barrage of nonsense. I've just had so many games in the last 3 days, like just a shocking amount. It hasn't happened in a while like this, but a shocking amount of games where we have someone that just like AFKs at like 2 minutes before because they got first blooded, or just disconnects, never reconnects in the middle of a game, or just deliberately trolls, or just all of these other things that just there's nothing you can do about it hardly. Like, all you can do is try to stay positive and just help people out, but it's just really tough. So you need to oh, get it. Okay. Just take a break. Don't ever do more than 2 losses in a row. Like, if you get 2 losses in a row, you need to go do something else. Like, play another game, go do some homework, go get something to eat. Like, just try to stay positive. Like, my last game was pretty tough, so I had to stop for a little while and go do something else. I mean, I was like 0-2-20, and we only had 25 kills, so I had like a 75% kill participation or something with almost no deaths, and the team had like 35 deaths or something. But it happens. Also, you need to leverage your dodges as well. I know a lot of people are reluctant to dodge games, but you really need to dodge. I've already used 2 today, unfortunately. We had a Kog'Maw jungle and a TF bottom one game. That had to be a dodge, and then something else that was just absurd. You just have to dodge. Things that you probably wouldn't even see in most normals. Because people who play those types of things, like maybe Kog'Maw jungle, maybe. I mean, there are some streamers that I've seen do something like that. For most games, though, not viable. So you can have like one goofy champion, maybe. Okay, he's running. I was gonna try to run up there with him, but he got away. But you really can't have 2 things. Like you can't have a TF, AD, and like a Kog'Maw jungle. So anyways, to focus on this game, Ezreal's not my favorite. He's really good for competitive play because he's super safe. But in solo queue, he just gets completely trashed in lane a lot of the time, or at least he should. Because he just doesn't have a lot that he can do early on. Now I'm going to outscale Nami because I get more shields, and my shields scale harder. Dude, don't trade. I mean, if they have a heal in their lane, like a Nami or something, and you don't, then don't trade. You just want to farm. Because the heal champions, most of them fall off later in the game, somewhat. I mean, you're just not going to beat them early. Unless you all-in. It's either all-in or nothing. Now, I was the very first pick, so that's happened a lot too, which is not great because I'm one of the... I think I'm one of the more, one of the more conscientious pickers, I think, for my elo. Which means that, if I'm a later pick, I can really leverage that because I know what our team needs and I know what I need to pick. Whereas I think a lot of people just kind of play their pocket champions. Not everybody, of course. Some people think very carefully about what they're choosing, but... I should probably offer to switch more when I'm early. That's something I could actively do to help if someone needs a champion. And then I can switch in later. The support is one of those roles where, like, what you do can vary dramatically. Like, because you can be a tank, or you can get, a spellcaster support, or, like, there's just so many different things you can play. I think your first pick options are very limited as support, but I think that your later pick options are pretty diverse. Now, Ezreal can be good later in the game, for sure. He has a lot of power, he has a lot of mobility, he has a lot of kiting capability. I'm a little low on mana, unfortunate. I don't know if Graves is coming down. Yeah, he is. Okay. Okay, we got his flash, though. We got his flash, bro. We got his flash, bro. If somebody flashes, you have to just let him go. Most of the time. There's just way too many minions there. I know he wants them, but... God, that was a late shield. Just back up, she's gonna flash and kill you. Actually, I have to wait till I get a shield back. I don't have enough mana for a shield. I'm backing up. I mean, we did force Jen to miss a lot of CS on that, so I think we ended up ahead. Janna's not amazing with Ezreal, but she's okay. I mean, that's the thing. Janna's, like, pretty good with most champions, and the thing is she's immortal, like, if you play her correctly. Like, she's just really safe. She's very forgiving against assassins, or if you're just, like, out of position, or even if you're not out of position. She lets you go up and try to make plays without much risk. She's a risk mitigator. That means you can go and try to save people, and if it doesn't work out, if you don't save them, then you can get away without dying yourself. There's very few other supports that can do that. Usually you will die trying to save people. Now, Nami looks very impressive early on in lane, and she is. She's one of the best lane dominant champions because she has her damage also heals. But she does fall off later. Now this Graves should come back bottom because we know we already have their flash. I don't know if flash is down top, but it's really hard to kill a Zed. I don't like that. And about to get another kill. Ribbon's about to die. Right, Jin's very, very easy to kill. This is bad. Okay, so I'm gonna need something. Did get tier, right? No, we didn't get tier? God bless. He's seriously going without tier, so that means he's probably going to go Triforce. Which I do not like that build at all. Alright. Good. Put that on the highlight reel. There's Nocturne. No. Dude, Graves. I mean, maybe he can kill him in his own jungle. We'll see. It's extremely dangerous, though. Need boots, but I also want bigger shields. I think I'm gonna go for bigger shields right now. Because I can complete that item, and it's a pretty nice little power spike. I mean, that was a pretty good move, but... Well, at least this game's in the ballpark. I can be thankful for that. No, dude, get out. Okay, well, okay. Go in hand. Can we get that? I think Graves is a very, very good jungler right now. People have quit playing him, but I think since the nerfs to other junglers, that Zac and Graves are kind of the two best ones, at least for mid-tier elo. Nidalee can still be really good, but if she was going to walk up that river and try to ward dragon, they just heard the dragon go off those. They're not going to do that, probably. Okay, he did get tier. He got Sheen first, which is interesting. So he's not going to stack it as fast, but the Sheen did help with damage. So if he didn't have the Sheen 100%, there's no way we killed them in that last trade. So it was a gamble, and it paid off for him. Put a ward here. Does Riven have TP? No. Exhaust. What? Zed and Riven both have exhaust? Okay. I guess one get turned deserves another, but that's really weird. Oh, they're probably on him. I don't know if that's how he came in or not. Oh, almost. He might get him with the red.
With ease.
Has been slain. Your turret has been destroyed. An enemy is unstoppable. An enemy has been slain.
Dang, that was pretty good. This is gonna be some highlight reel stuff on this one. Oh god.
Shut down.
Yeah, we probably need to back on up. Just back up. Sorry if I sound weird too. I've had a cold for the last couple of days. It doesn't seem like it's a big one, I hope. I only had like a really runny nose for like maybe one day. Yeah, but it didn't work out for her. Let's go ahead and get Ionian boots. I've been trying those out lately. I'll go ahead and undo one and I'll get another fairy charm.
Upon the wind.
Merman is always good. Okay, so we're hanging in there, so we had a rough start, but this is an okay game. Like, no one's raging too hard. No. Just the psychology's good. It's really the psychology is so key to winning most of the time. Like, picks matter a lot too, but the psychology and picks are really big. Like, you can overcome a lot of mechanical errors, especially at the platinum level. Because your other team's going to be making a lot of errors as well. But it's really hard to come back from psychology errors. To just like constantly raging and just being in a really bad state of mind to win. We'll wait till they ward that tri-bush. This Graves is doing an awesome job in the jungle too. Like his, you know, gank bottom. Like after we got the flash, he was a little aggressive, but it was okay. He's just like hanging out in the woods. But you know, if you hang out and you get a kill on him, you know, why not? You don't always have to be like super farming all the time. I think Graves is showing that sometimes if you just wait a little bit. Are they gonna need our help? I'm trying to see if I need to rotate or not. I couldn't have gotten up there in time. Okay. Okay, so he is building traditional Ezreal. He just opted for the Sheen early on. Okay, this Ezreal's doing well. Starting to take off now with the Sheen. What does Jen have? He has... It's doing pretty well. I think we're still stronger right now. Okay, so they are very, like, scared, I think. They're playing very far back. It means we get extra shots at this tower. Okay, Nocturne's right there.
Upon the wind.
So no one has teleport in this game, so there's not a super good reason. Okay, he's up there. Anytime you see the jungler, just ping it on the map, so everyone may not see that. Okay, so Graves is pretty smart. He's walking through to go, like, camp that red. He's going, like, a really weird route. I guess maybe because he's caught him out so many times in a certain spot, he wants to be in a different spot. Okay, Nocturne stop. Need to get his red and then get dragon.
As you wish.
Alright, well there we go. The Graves is like in their base or something. Okay, good. Well, we just split that wide open right there. So you see, I think this Riven started off having kind of a bad time top from what I remember. She died a couple of times, but she stayed strong mentally. Yeah, Nocturne still has ult, probably. Maybe. No, I think he used it a little bit ago. I'm just not sure of the new cooldowns. Like, I haven't played with or against Nocturne in a while. Okay, so now that we're winning really hard, I think I want this just to catch people out. And this to help save people from like a Zed ult, just to heal them through it. I like that.
As you wish.
Even though they don't, I mean, they do have an AP threat actually with Victor. But just that retroactive healing is so nice, and just the extra shield power, like, it just synergizes very well with Janna. Now, the auto attack item, the on-hit item, is obviously very good as well.
An enemy has been slain.
It's obviously very good as well, but Ezreal doesn't do a lot of auto attacks. Usually he's running away, queuing people. So it does apply on-hit on his Q, but he usually doesn't have a lot of attack speed. So it's still a good item. I will get it. But, I think Mikhail's is probably going to be better. So that extra active to save people is really nice.
Swiftly.
There's going to be some action. Let's get this. Jeez.
Upon the wind.
Okay, so we finally got a good game in there. Happy days. As you can see, you know, I've fallen down about a division, probably since some of my more recent games. But you just try to stay positive as much as possible. If you notice, we were even losing, like, that game pretty early. I don't remember what happened. I remember I said something about why I don't like Riven that much as a champion. And I stand by that. You know, I think that she has a hard time coming back if she's behind. And I like to play champions that can play from both sides of the court, right? So if you need to play defense, you can play defense also. That's why Janna's so good. She can defend towers, she can peel, but she's not bad offense as well. Like, obviously she herself doesn't do a lot of damage, but you can buff up people who do. So, you know, if your AD carries super fed, put a shield on him. Graves super fed, put a shield on him. It affects his, you know, the AD ratios on his abilities. And you just have such customization with your items as well. You can get a Mikhail's if you need that extra heal. You can get this, which is super useful if you need to run down champions with people like Riven, who do have gap closers, Vlad, but it's even better because they don't have a lot of CC. You need to be able to run down and get in their face. So I really like that. If you need to go more defensive for some reason, you can do that as well. I mean, you can get a Locket, you can get a Frozen Heart if you want to. Like, Janna's one of the only champions that can build all of these items. She can build almost the entire suite of support items. Heck, you can even run her if you want to. You could get some AP. Now, I think they've nerfed the ratio on her shield with AP, but you could, in theory, get AP items, and they would be okay on her because it would give you better shields, give you better slow on your W, and it would give you more AD on the shielding power and the AD on your E, and it also would increase your healing off your R. So she's pretty good with AP as well. Now, I don't usually buy a lot of AP items because the other stuff is good. But if you just happen to get some incidental AP, like that on-hit item for shields that gives AP, then it's really good. So anyways, I have a ton of Janna on the site. I know that, but I just needed to get some wins. And if your first pick, it's got to be Janna, Tom, Kentra, Ali. And I think right now I'm just leaning towards Janna the most. This wasn't even a particularly super awesome Janna team. She's not great with Ezreal. Usually gets outscaled by most other AD carries, but she's still okay. And she just doesn't die a lot. Like, let me see. I win a lot of games with her, but as you can see, now some of these are just kind of for fun, just normals I was trying out. But, you know, we've been not having a good time, right, for the past few days. Although before that, we had a ton of wins. You know, I won like probably 8 out of 10 with Janna last week when I moved up a lot. But look at this, for instance. So, this is what I'm talking about. So we had a Trist, an Aurelian Soul, Wukong, and Eve. And this looks a lot closer than it was. Like, this Aurelian Soul was raging the whole time and AFK'd out. Monkey died a lot. So I guess he got some just like garbage kills at the end of the match, but everybody died a lot. What was the score? Does it say? Oh, yeah, yeah. So 30 people died on my team 30 times. I died 2 of those 30. And we had 26 kills. And I participated in 19 of them. I don't know what that percentage is, but that's just the power of Janna. So even if you're losing really badly, and we were kind of making a comeback. Like, this is way better than it was. I think that at one point they were like 25 to 10 or something. So we were making a comeback, but Aurelian Soul just raged out, and we had a couple of pretty bad engages where they caught us. Like Shaco, Tristana was just refusing to get an armor item, and Shaco was just zeroing her out. Or Jace hitting him was almost one-shotting him. Her. So we're having problems, but even in a game where you're just getting absolutely crushed, like, you can still with Janna have just a phenomenal KDA. And obviously I was there, I was involved in fights, I was doing things, I had a lot of really good saves. You know, I had 19 assists, whereas the vast majority of people on the team had 5 or 6. I was everywhere on the map making plays, but I still only died 2 times, making all those plays against assassins like Shaco. So that's the power of Janna. You can play from behind. You can make a lot of comebacks with Janna. Just while I'm on a really quick aside here, if they have an AD assassin that is just completely destroying you, get armor. Like, if they have a Zed that's super fed or you're a Shaco, get armor as the AD carry. Like, obviously not first item, but get it as your 3rd item. Get a Randuin's or a GA. I like Randuin's the best because it gives you health and armor. Just do that. I mean, so many people, I think, just autopilot into getting just all AD because they see that's what the pros do. They get all AD items. But the pros have lots of wards usually to stop them from getting killed and ganked. And they have really good peel, and they have very deliberate team comps, and they've practiced it a lot. They can get away with going full damage a lot of the time. But if you're just playing solo queue, no, yes, I do peel off of Triss quite a lot, but it's really hard to peel with Shaco if he kills you on the first hit, if I don't even have time to R. Now, I can drop pinks in a lot of places, but I can't drop a pink everywhere on the map, right? So it's not like he's a persistently invisible threat that comes up, like Rengar, where you can see the little, you know, exclamation point over your head, then you know to drop a pink. He's not that way. He can jump over walls. You really have to save the pink for when he's trying to get away, because you just can't predict where he's going to come from a lot, especially if you're the only person warding. So if there's only 3 wards on the map, and the map's very open because we've been pushed in, then it's really hard to defend. But the bottom line is, even if you do have a support that peels, which I don't know, I don't see other supports a lot, but from what I've heard, other ADs that play with me, they don't peel as much as I do most of the time. If that's the case, you definitely need armor. Like, just look at their team. They have no tanks. Like, nobody's building any tank items. So why do you need 4 damage items on your AD carry? You don't. I mean, what? You might kill them in 2 auto attacks faster, but you know what? You can't deal damage if you're dead. That's the thing to keep in mind as AD carry. If you're dead, you're not dealing damage. So she should have gone Infinity Edge into Rune's Hurricane into Randuin's. That's what I think. Maybe not even finish the Hurricane and just get Randuin's, because she died like so much. 7 is way too many times to die. Yeah, you might be thinking, well, that's on average for the team. It doesn't matter. You cannot die in solo queue. You just can't, because you're giving up too much pressure if you die. If you think you're really the best person on your team, the person that needs to climb an elo, then you need to be alive. That means because you're going to make the good decisions, you're going to help people out, you're going to make rotations, you're going to be in the right place at the right time. You need to be alive. Because if you trade kills, if you just think, oh, I just killed somebody and I died also, that means if you think you're the best, you're potentially trading your team's MVP for someone on the other team that's not as great, and they might get dragon out of it, they might get a tower, they might do any number of things. You need to not die. that much. Like Jace, 11-2. Obviously, that's good. But I win a lot of games if we look at my profile. Well, not obviously, not recently, but a lot of games that I do win, it's because I don't die a lot. Now, those are just fun games. Or my buddy's house. Fun game. Only died 4 times as Brandon ranked. 2 deaths, 4 deaths. So I think you should ideally aim for 2 deaths or less, or 3 deaths or less. 2 is really hard to get, but 3 or less, I think is a really good thing. If I die more than that, it's just bad. And if you are playing squishy champions without escapes, like Zyra, Sona, things like that, it's going to be much more likely you're going to die a lot. But, as you can see, the vast majority of the games, if I die more than 4 times, then I lose the game. If I die less than 4 times, I win. Not always. Actually, that's not true at all with these 3 games. But just trust me on it. If you die less, you will win more over time. There's just sometimes you just go on streaks, right? Where it's not your fault. You're still playing pretty solid games, but people are raging out. Everyone on your team is dying. It's just not a good time. Excuse me. So that's just going to happen, If you win 60% of your games, which is what you should aim for, it's optimistic. But that doesn't mean that you can't lose 10 in a row and then win, your next 8 after that, or whatever the percentage would be. So sometimes it just goes in streaks, wins and losses. You need to stop lost streaks by not playing. As I said before, if you've lost 2 in a row, just stop. Go do something else, clear your mind, listen to some chill music, go hang out with some friends, and then come back and play again. Now, you still might lose, but at least your mental state is going to be strong. Okay, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this, go back and watch the rest. We have a ton of Janna videos, lots of great plays in all of those. I think she's the best support right now for solo queue. We also have a lot of Tahm Kench, I think is also pretty strong. Jury's out on Brand. I've been experimenting with him on comps with really low damage. So this we had a Shin, a Lee Sin, and a TF, and all of those are fairly low damage later in the game. I probably should have dodged because it's just too many low damage things. But that's why I picked Brand, just to try to compensate for that low damage. The Jury's out. I'm trying him. I like Brand. I like Zyra. If you need an AP support, if you need a tank, Tahm Kench is really good. Alistar's good. Braum can be good. I'm not good with Braum. Nami and Zona can be good also. They're really great lane bullies, but sometimes they fall off later in the game. As you saw, Nami was doing very well in our game, but she just doesn't scale as well later in the game because her heal has a really long cooldown. So that's a big problem. And like the heal doesn't get through Ignite, and it's just not as strong as like Janna's shield, and it doesn't offer any other utility. Now her E is okay. It adds on hit damage, but once again, it scales with your AP that you have, not anything that the enemy champion has. So Janna can be good, and I really like her. Nami can be good, and I really like her. I will play some more with Nami, but I think on the current patch, she's a little bit underpowered. But anyways, that's going to be it. Check out the rest of the videos. We also have Total War Warhammer content if you're interested in that. So legendary campaigns for every single faction except for Chaos. Those are a ton of fun. I don't abuse the auto-resolve system. I don't assassinate lords on the campaign map. So that makes for a really good viewing experience, a really good playing experience. And I also play multiplayer Total War games. So if you just want to just hang out and just watch a battle for 10 or 15 minutes, those are a great way to do that as well. And I explain the strategy in depth. So you don't have to know a ton about Total War to enjoy that. And I'm working on trying to run through an XCOM 2 campaign as well. I've had a bunch of people request that. I want to make sure that I get about 8 really good episodes in before I release them. Because XCOM is one of those games where there's so much randomness, especially early on, that it can be really hard to complete a campaign. Potentially. I love XCOM. I love the first one. I definitely love Long War, but it's one of those games where, you can be 50 battles in and you just lose an entire squad and that's it for your entire campaign. So there's a lot more risk of just losing than there is in something like Total War Warhammer or League of Legends. You always start a fresh game, so it doesn't matter. But I am going to bring that content to you soon. So thank you very much. It's always a pleasure broadcasting for you, and I'll see you next time. Have a wonderful evening.